Today I'm going to share with you our homeschool curriculum for this last year. I'm going to start with our 6th grader. I'm just going to talk you through the different curriculums that we used and the things that we didn't like about them or what we enjoyed about them and how they worked for us. The first thing I want to talk about is our main spine of our curriculum. We use My Father's World. This year we went through Rome to the Reformation. This is the 3rd year in their family cycle, and we actually have used, let's see if it's in here, we have used each cycle so far. I started with, my 6-year-old started with My Father's World Kindergarten. She's done 1st grade, then she did Adventures, and then we did the Exploring Countries and Cultures, and then we actually took a break from My Father's World and tried something else. But I just like My Father's World too much to skip out on it. So then the next one we did was the Creation to the Greeks, and now this year we just completed Rome to the Reformation. I really enjoy the books that My Father's World picks to use, living books. I enjoy the time that I get to sit and read to all my kids together. I really enjoy that I can teach them science, history, Bible, geography, all of that together at the table. Everyone learns the same things. For my older child, there might be extra reading for her or extra worksheets or whatever to make it a little more challenging for her. So this is what we used this year. These are the books that we used for our history and Bible. We've got How the Bible Came to Us. We obviously learned about Rome, the Roman Empire. This one, The Ancient World, we actually used last year in Creation to the Greeks, and it carried over to this year. The Journey Through the Bible, this is a neat book. We used this one last year also. And then we have read those ones. The Trial and Triumph, we're still working on that. We haven't quite finished our readings, but from what I understand, it also carries on to next year, so we'll continue reading that next year. So, for science, science is a hard one for me. Right now, what we are doing is exploring creation with astronomy, and I'm actually not reading this to my kids. I am only having my 6th grader read this to herself. Science seems to be the thing that kind of gets kicked to the side when I don't have time to finish things. So in order for her to get this book done, she has to read it herself. I just do not have time to sit and read it to her. So she reads it to herself. Sometimes her 2nd grade brother will sit and listen with her. Other times she just sets a timer and reads for 20 minutes and then she's done for the day. So this is what she's working on now. We spent most of the year doing the human body. We've got the First Encyclopedia, Galen, and the Gateway to Medicine, The Human Body for Every Kid. These 3 are just reading books. This one actually, the body book, is where we cut out these different pages and follow along in the instructions and read about how they work, color them, put them together. I believe I have a picture somewhere. I might be able to find that and put it in for what the kids' completed bodies look like. I've heard some families say that their children do not enjoy doing this, but this is something that my kids really enjoyed, but it did take a lot of time. So for us to complete this, I really had to just persevere through it. I mean, we would sit down when the little kids were napping, and it would take us an hour and a half or 2 hours to complete one lesson of this because of all the cutting and the gluing and the taping. So, but I'm glad we did it. The kids learned a lot, and my kids are crafty. They like doing the cutting and the coloring and all that stuff. One other thing I forgot to mention was whenever I would read our history, there are coloring pages that go along, that come with the curriculum, that go along with it sometimes. Other times, I would just print off our own pages that they could color off of the internet, and they would just sit and listen and color. So they really enjoyed doing that. Alright, the next thing I have is this Love to Write book. I'm not sure about writing yet. My sixth grader she does fairly well at writing. I got this book for her just as something to encourage her into more writing. And she actually likes doing it. She only does one lesson each week, so she's not finished. She didn't get anywhere near finished, but she has been working on it throughout the week, once a week, and I think I'm going to have her continue it next year, just because it's a fun thing, gives her fun ideas to write about. This next book is a vocab book. This book is called English from the Roots Up, and it has Latin and Greek words in it. And my 6th grader is the only one that does this. She just goes through, has a specific words she's supposed to do. She writes out, we've got pages that I printed off for it. She writes out the word, the meaning, the sentences. Just helps her to learn the root words of the English language. The next things that we have are her English and spelling. I actually had her start doing Rod and Staff English 5 and decided to switch her to this intermediate language lessons. She knows a lot of grammar and things that they teach in the Rod and Staff, but this is a little more simple. The lessons are a little bit shorter. And so I just decided to switch her to this. Next year she's going to finish the Rod and Staff English book, to complete that and work on it. But I just want to try this for this year. This is actually one of the recommended from My Father's World, and they're changing it over now. They're making new books that are similar to this. They kind of have the same content. They're just updated. And then she also did 6th grade spelling from Rod and Staff. And this is another thing. She can go through these lessons really easy. She does them by herself. But once I actually started analyzing her spelling, I realized that she really wasn't learning very well how to spell. So I switched her, I had her stop doing this and started working on some all about spelling for her. So I think next year she's going to continue with all about spelling, or she's just going to be done with spelling and she's just going to be reading. What she did this year was Teaching Textbooks Math 5 on the computer. She loved it. The beginning of the year she actually was doing 2 lessons every day because she was so excited about it, and she got done early because of that. So we will be continuing this next year. Also, my son, who will be in 3rd grade next year, will start teaching textbooks on the computer. So that wraps it up. That is all of our homeschool curriculum that my 6th grader did last year. And overall, it was a great year. We enjoyed it and looking forward to next year.